if I'm a Christian, why do I need deliverance? And I think there's a lot of confusion with that. And I mean, you're kind of telling it in your story. But I really want to put a pin in that, and we can come back to that towards the end, and maybe just have a little bit more focused conversation, or you can, even teach about it if you want. Because I think there's a lot of people who are like, whoa. And I think there's a lot of fear surrounding that topic, with Christians too, where they're like, no, but like, I don't want people to think that I'm not a Christian, that I'm not. And so, I definitely want to come back to that. But I want to rewind just a little bit and ask, so you were aware of this dark presence in your home, right? When you were little, was it something that always brought fear, or was it something you were like, oh, it's just there?
It did bring fear, but I didn't know. I didn't even speak about it. I didn't know. I don't know. I didn't speak to any adults about it. I've recently spoke to my sister, and she said that she used to experience it as well. But I mean, there was actual stuff that went on that my mum used to see. I mean, pictures turning around and stuff like this on the wall, doing a complete 360 and stuff like this. When she was having an argument with the guy she was with. All of a sudden the pictures would start, there'd be 3 pictures and one in the middle would start spinning around and stuff like this. So there was a tremendous, I think there'd been a lot gone on in the home. But the thing is you'll find a lot of the time that these demons, they follow the people. It's like you can pray for people when they receive deliverance, their home will be cleaner. You can pray over their home as well. But there was no doubt that I think the home, there's probably a lot gone on in the house, but there was a lot of demonic that was following us because of the occult practices,
And then you said that you always went to like places that seemed like they had more heightened demonic activity, and that it was like the demons almost led you there. And the way that I kind of got like a picture in my head was like almost like there's a wall socket in these places, and the demons plug into that, and it kind of like seems like it kind of, because there's a network of demons, right? Like you were talking about. And we've had other people on the show that have talked about that too. So very interesting.
I remember before my parents split, they wanted to exchange. We lived in a council home, and they wanted to exchange and move to another house. And I remember going there with my mum, and we walked up the stairs, and I was about 7 maybe, and we walked into this back room, and I just looked, and at the end of the room, it just looked like I was looking into a void, like that just went on and on and on, a black void. And it's like I looked to see into the spirit, but it was dark and frightening and horrible. And I walked out the room. I didn't say anything. And as we walked down the stairs, and because my mum was quite sensitive to this stuff as well, and she went on to do tarot cards and all that. So she used that kind of gift of prophecy in the wrong way, and that's what the devil does. He takes a gift from God and he uses it for his purposes. But when we went outside and got in the car, I said, Mum, I didn't like that back room. She said, no, son, I didn't either.
Oh, wow.
So we never took the house. But the devil was trying to lead us to another place where there was, where he had a lot of influence. So yeah, definitely these demons can be resident, but also they follow through networking. They follow the people that are giving them entry, to be in their lives.
Yeah. And the question I had in regards to your grandparents, because you said they did a lot of occult stuff. Sometimes I wonder if there are people who, I don't know if it's that some people are more spiritually sensitive than others. I honestly don't know. But with your grandparents, were they always aware of this activity, or were they doing these things and it was having this runoff effect on you and your mom and everybody else? Were they aware of all of this kind of?
Yeah, they was aware, but I don't think, the penny dropped. I'm not so sure that they was actually aware that they was inviting, because a lot of it used to go on over here in the UK. I know it's gone on all over the world, witchcraft, obviously, but it's always been the case. But with the Ouija board and things like that, there was a sort of, I think maybe from the 50s, after the Second World War, it seemed to be almost like a fashionable thing to do it. And I don't know where that, why that became. Obviously it's from Satan, so
Yeah,
obviously
Satan's a liar, and he's
exactly, yeah. So I think that, but my grandmother, she used to read tea leaves and stuff like this,
okay.
and
Yeah.
read palms, and you
Is
might
that would
think,
be like
oh,
divination, isn't it? Or is that maybe it's not?
yeah, it is divination, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we was really just caught up in that
Mhm.
sort of circle and of lies and demonic oppression, and I don't think, answering your question, I don't think they fully understood what they was actually doing.
Mm.
They wasn't, what I'm saying is, they wasn't like satanic worshippers. They wasn't like doing it on purpose, in that way.
Mhm.
They was doing it because they was obviously, well, they was deceived. That's why they
Sure.
was doing it.
Yeah.
But they was, I don't really know why they was doing it, obviously, other than they was deceived. But it was quite regular,
Mhm.
and of course that went on because my mum ended up getting involved with tarot cards and tarot cards, sorry, and palm reading and stuff like this. And she became an alcoholic, and that's the thing as well. She became a raging alcoholic, and she tried to take her life a few times, and so that's another thing, when you're a young boy of 9 or 10, you got to get up for school in the morning, your mum's bloody and drunk from an argument, she's drunk, she's suicidal, and you're kind of, sort of trying to console her. All of this has a tremendous effect on any child. You can't
Oh, yeah.
handle it at that age. You just can't.
Oh, man.
You're not in a. You can't do it. You're not
Well, and
developed.
there's something that happens even as like a, um, as a kid going like, I need to do something about this,
Mm,
and as a
mm,
kid, you feel powerless because like, I can't take on a full grown man, especially if you're
mm.
7, 8, 9.
Yeah,
Um, and there's this thing that can rise up inside people and be like, I need to do something about this, and I'm going to do something about
yeah,
this. And it sounds like, at least as far as your sister, protecting your sister
yeah,
goes, it sounds like there was some of that. I'm sure there was your
yeah,
mom as well. You're like,
mm,
I gotta be able to protect them. And maybe that
yeah.
kind of fueled your anger as well. I mean, understandably being